All right, there's a couple of things there. All right, why don't we take number 4, the request for the waiver of the building permit fee, and we'll just have to put off these other items for next meeting. Is there somebody who's here from the Millington Fire Company who wants to talk about this issue? Yeah, please, come on up.
That's
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Underground storage tank.
For this one?
Underground storage tank that you want to move?
Yeah, the company, I guess, is just looking for you to waive the typical building fees that come through the town, so the company doesn't have to pay the township.
So moved.
Second.
You can just do voice vote.
Voice vote? everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Thank
Wasn't that easy enough? Thank you very much.
Good job.
$8,000.
Hold on a second. Yeah, that's in the consent agenda.
What about the hearing?
Oh, yeah, good point. That's right, we skipped over that. I don't know if we have time. Can we do that? Well, we did talk a lot about that, the CDBG application, public hearing. Why don't we go ahead and open up the hearing?
I was going to say I could do it real quick.
Let's do it real quick.
CDBG application, Community Development Block application for 2007, includes Poplar Drive, the sidewalk that we applied for last year with the treescaping. It's about 11 or 12 trees that will tree line the street. It'll add also there'll be a grass buffer between the roadway. The application does include some Belgian block. The whole idea is to present a more pedestrian-friendly atmosphere on Poplar. This application also includes the resurfacing of Magnolia, Laurel, and Cedar Avenues. The application maximum is $80,000, of which we're applying for. The total amount of the project is estimated at about $156,000. We did look at some of the things that the public and the governing body spoke about last time. The road, we looked at the sidewalk between the seniors and the Riverside Recreation. That's two things. One, it's not an eligible activity to be done by the seniors, and this is the first year that the township can only apply once. So what happens is, while in the past the seniors, the town and Lounsbury had even applied, that is no longer an option, which actually will be more favorable to municipalities, because the not-for-profits would have to come to the municipalities to get permission to apply and so forth. So they gave me an example last year. Mine Hill got 3 applications approved because there's different committees that hear it, so they don't know who's getting approved, while Long Hill did not get approved at all.
Right.
The application, I did mention it to some of the property owners. I guess the only major issue is that I need approval for is I need about $76,000 from either the current fund or future capital fund budget to be used to match the application, because the application itself, the grant itself only covers about $80,000. The time frame we'd like to look at is July or August of this year, ending next year. We would be required to get certain DEP permits, so the county has advised us that between your approval now and our presentation, they would at least like to see some correspondence between us and the DEP concerning their permitting. The last time we did Poplar Drive with the road, we were educated as to what we need, so we don't feel that that's going to be a problem. And I think that's as quick as I could do that.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about the $76,000 contribution? Any comments by the committee on that? No comments? Everybody's in agreement to do that?
Mm-hmm. How would you?
76?
It's about 76. I guess the question is, how do you like to fund that?
With those bonds that we just passed.
Yeah. Because there's money in there for sidewalks, isn't there?
Yeah. There may be
do an
potential
ordinance to put that in there.
balance.
But you may have to amend it because they're usually specific as to what improvements are authorized.
Right.
So you may need a new bond ordinance to work.
I would suggest obviously there's a time frame between now and the presentation. I guess while we're doing our budget, we look at that with DPW and tying it into there. Or if you want to do capital, that's fine. I just don't anticipate capital being in hand in the time frame that we may need it.
When are the applications proceeding again?
The deadline is Friday.
No, but
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about
I think
when are they
it's
going to
March.
actually be heard?
I think it's March 3rd.
And we had talked about placing some of the on the agenda in February for some of the capital considerations, right?
Yeah, I'd like you to consider in the second meeting of February the capital considerations.
I like Jerry's idea, if we could find a way to either amend the ordinance, or if the ordinance is broad enough that it can comply with these, then we don't even have a problem. right? If it was broadly worded enough that it includes sidewalks just such as Poplar.
And it wasn't specific as to street.
Right. All right, so then we'll look at that. Anybody have any suggestions otherwise? Great. So any other issues with respect to the application from the committee? None? Any issues that the audience would like to talk about with respect to that application? Well, I think we have permission then for moving forward with the application.
Great. We're required to attach minutes of the public hearing, so that the conversations that were taken prior to the public hearing, I will attach as the comments of the public hearing for the sake of the county realizing what the public had commented on earlier.
Thank you very much. Well, there's no way we can discuss the minutes. Well, we have to pass the consent agenda, and before we do that, I want to appoint Mary Lou Weller to our town historian to the historic committee, which I think is, important for a historian to be part of that committee. So I will appoint her to that committee. Now, let's, if we could open the meeting again to the public with the understanding, well, you know what, let's pass the consent agenda. We want to hear the public first on the consent agenda, but we're really short on time, so please be very brief with your comments if you have any. Anybody want to be heard?
Before someone walks up, Mayor, I do need to amend the bills list, which is part of your consent agenda.
Okay,
So-
we'll discuss that then.
William Watt, Boynton. I didn't understand what Steve Kesselmeyer was talking about, because I haven't been to any of the planning board meetings. Is there a building projected for a Millington Fire Station?
It appeared they're removing an underground storage tank. That's what it appeared that they were doing.
Is it?
This was just a building permit, not development application fee
Okay,
waiver.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments? Okay, so let's move forward and take the consent agenda resolutions. Mr.
The 050 that's on the consent agenda is your payment of the bills.
Yes,
We're going to start that procedure as part of the consent agenda, so people kind of lost me in there. It'll be a resolution as part of your regular consent, the bills and and any minutes. That particular resolution, I do need to amend. There's a bill that we need to take off that bills list. That bill is to Samuel Klein and Company.
that's 055.
I'm sorry, yes, 07050. And I do need to add a bill, Pigeon and Pigeon, invoice number 18246, to the bill list in the amount of $6,307.09. And the Samuel Klein bill, there's only one on there, you just need to remove that, the work isn't fully completed yet.
So we're going to pass the resolution for 07-042 through 07-055 with the amendment to 07-050. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Actually, 07051 is, I think it's approving the minutes of December 20th.
So you want to pull that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pull that.
Well, I think you mean because you weren't on the committee yet?
Yeah.
I think if
You
you
could
may just
abstain.
abstain
Okay.
with respect to that
Yeah,
resolution.
you
There's no real
could
reason to
vote
pull it.
yes to everything with the exception of 051, to which you abstain.
We'll ask the clerk to make that clear in
Okay.
the minutes.
So, subject to all that, can I entertain a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call,
Mr. Aronio,
yes, with the exception of 07051, as discussed,
which you,
which I abstained.
Mr. Briggs,
Yes, with the same exception. I abstain.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Ms. Genovese?
Yes.
Mayor Vitarera?
yes. Move to adjourn?
We
We're going
have
back into
executive
closed session?
That's right.
And
We'll-
adjourn at the end of closed session.
We'll adjourn at the end of the meeting in the executive session, and we will take no further action, right? Right. Okay, so a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second? Everybody in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Have a good night.